It is a real honor to have been asked to be MC for this event. We have several speakers and presentations to be given to Rick today, so I'd like to start by welcoming Lisa Olney, Chair of the Select Board, to come up to the podium. Lisa?
So welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Select Board, we are so glad you could all be with us today to honor Chief DeLorie for his 3 decades of service to the town and to congratulate him on his retirement. We are especially grateful to his wife, Ellie, and his family for joining us and for all their support for the Chief throughout his many years of dedication to the town. And thank you to Corey Testa from Representative Alice Peisch's office for being with us while Representative Peisch is attending the governor's inauguration. Also welcome to the many, many former Select Board members and current and past town board members and staff who are with us today. So before we start our program, the board would like to present a special gift to the Chief so that he can relax during the remarks to come. So if I could ask the Chief to come up as well as the board, if everybody could join us up here. So the idea is to just lift the box up.
Lift it up.
Item. And now I'll just take a moment to read a special proclamation from the Select Board in honor of this occasion. So this is a resolution honoring Richard DeLorie for 30 years of dedicated service to the town of Wellesley. Whereas Rick DeLorie has dedicated 30 years of his career to the town of Wellesley, the Wellesley Fire and Rescue Department, and as Wellesley's Fire Chief has been entrusted with keeping our community safe and protected. And whereas Rick, a Wellesley native and graduate of Wellesley High School, began working for the town in 1993 as a firefighter, rising through the ranks and named chief in 2009, commanding a diverse team of 57 staff, including our assistant chief, 5 deputy chiefs, 13 lieutenants, and all current and former...
What is that?
all current...
To the door.
all current and... Oh. Okay. Keep going? Okay. So, and all current and former fire personnel and our Cataldo medics who have benefited from his thoughtful, progressive leadership and vision. And whereas Rick has also served the public on a broader scale as a 2-term president of the Massachusetts Fire Chiefs Association and multi-term chairman of the Metro Fire Chiefs Association, where he leads the 35 mutual aid departments in the greater Boston area, and as a 22-year member of the Boston Marathon Public Safety Executive Decision Team and Public Safety Planning Committee. In 2018, Rick was the first fire service professional to be awarded the Theodore Teddy Mann Regional Leadership Award from the Metropolitan Regional Planning Council, recognizing his commitment to regional collaboration. And whereas under Rick's leadership, the Wellesley Fire and Rescue Department has coordinated and participated in memorable programs for our community, including the annual Senior Thanksgiving Dinner, annual September 11th observance, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Flag Day ceremonies, Teen Rescuer Youth Camp, Wellesley's wonderful weekend celebrations, and so much more. Rick is known throughout our community for his caring heart and love of Wellesley. And whereas during the COVID pandemic, Rick and his crews worked tirelessly to obtain and distribute masks and PPE to seniors and our most vulnerable citizens supporting fellow first responders and especially our health department, and improving morale for all during a very dark time. And whereas Rick's dedication to service began early in life as a Boy Scout, then a Scout leader, and now a member of the National Association of Eagle Scouts, in addition to his involvement in many other civic groups, a lifelong learner, he holds a bachelor's and master's degree from Framingham State University and has also advanced his skills in leadership and government with programs through the U.S. National Fire Academy, the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, and the Naval Postgraduate Executive Leadership Program. And whereas a true family man, Rick has passed along a passion for service to his two sons, Rick Jr. and Alex, both firefighter EMTs who serve with their dad, and to his daughter Maggie, and he and his wife Ellie recently celebrated their 35th wedding anniversary. And whereas the role of fire chief is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week position that involves extreme stress and life and death situations, Rick is well known throughout Wellesley for the humor and compassion he brings to his job every day, rarely missing any community event, a practice he pledges to continue even in retirement, and as a friend to everyone he meets. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the Wellesley Select Board, extend our sincere thanks to Rick DeLorie for his efforts and commitment to the town and its residents, and hereby join with the Fire and Rescue Department, fellow first responders, and all of Rick's Town of Wellesley colleagues, family, and friends in conveying our gratitude and respect to him for his 30 years of service and extend our best wishes for his retirement. And now I'd just like to ask Corey Testa to come up and say a few words on behalf of Representative Peisch.
Should do the photo.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're going to do, that's right. We're just going to do the...
So while Corey is coming forward, the Board of Selectmen also has, Rick, for you, a copy of your portrait, which will proudly hang in the chief's office to remind all future chiefs of those qualities that we deeply admire and respect. Your big heart, your warm sense of humor, and your passion about professional excellence. So thank you so much. Lisa.
I'm just checking to see if it's me.
Okay. And now we'll hear from Corey Testa.
Good afternoon. My name is Corey Testa, and I am the Staff Director for State Representative Alice Peisch. Representative Peisch apologizes for missing today's celebration. As Lisa mentioned, she's actually currently sitting on the floor of the House of Representatives watching our new governor and lieutenant governor get sworn in. So she sent me to speak on her behalf. We are here today to express our appreciation to Chief DeLorie for his many years of service to the residents of Wellesley. His exemplary leadership and mentorship of the women and men of the Wellesley Fire Department has left an indelible mark on the town and its public safety landscape. To mark this occasion, the House of Representatives passed a resolution honoring the chief for his many years of service and congratulating him on his well-deserved retirement. On a personal note, it has been an honor to get to know the chief, and I will miss his friendship, his stories, his sense of humor, and most of all, his mentorship to me personally. Some of that I hope will continue. So on behalf of Representative Alice Peisch and the entire House of Representatives, I'd like to present this resolution to Chief DeLorie and thank him for his many years of dedicated leadership and service. Thank you.
Okay, next I would like to call Chief Jim Vaughan of the Shrewsbury Fire Department, president of FCAM, to say a few words. Jim?
I don't have any pictures of you, though.
I'll get you some.
So Rick has also been a mentor of mine with the Fire Chiefs Association on the board, but as he would put it, for better or for worse. And Rick actually did 2 terms as union president, as FCAM president. And, you know, that was a very important time for FCAM. Appreciate you stepping up on that. I'm going to read you your plaque and then we'll hug. All right. Fire Chiefs Association of Mass, Chief Richard A. DeLorie, in recognition and appreciation for your outstanding contribution of service as president of the Fire Chiefs Association of Massachusetts, 2015 to 2017, your devotion to duty and your dedicated, untiring efforts in the cause of fire prevention and protection of life and property in Wellesley, Massachusetts. On the occasion of your retirement, the members of the Fire Chiefs Association of Massachusetts extend felicitations and their sincere best wishes for your continued health and happiness presented today.
Thank you, brother.
I would now like to have Dave Frizzell, retired Chief of Belmont and Executive Director of Metro Fire, to come to the podium.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Frizzell, the Executive Director for Metro Fire. With 16 plus years as Chief in Belmont, so I've known Rick his whole tenure as Chief. Metro Fire is the 35 fire departments that surround Metro Boston. We meet at least monthly. It covers mutual aid and things like that. We traditionally present a bell to the retiree, but he's requested a car and gas, and we haven't been able to find either one for him, so, but his bell has been ordered. We've run into some supply chain issues. He will be getting his bell. What I'm going to miss most is working with Rick. I sat to his right for the last 2+ years as the executive director, trying to keep him on track with the agenda, him skipping items, him going on and on and on. And it's been a task, but it's one that he's been a pleasure to work with. I'm also going to miss the car rides home. I got to ride home with him on the phone many afternoons. He got to order dunks. He never ordered me one. He walked the aisles of Home Depot while I was on the phone and we were discussing issues. So he was 24/7. He was dedicated to the job. He was the chairman for Metro Fire, which is a difficult job at times, trying to keep all 34 other fire chiefs running in the same direction. So I just want to wish you congratulations, good health, and good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Next, I would like to ask Peter Ostrovsky, the State Fire Marshal, to come up to say a few words.
Good afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you all today. I also do not have a presentation for 2 reasons. Number one, when I came here, I really didn't think Rick was going to be here. So, number 2 is you may have heard that in the last hours of the governor's tenure, he had about 99 bills on his desk to sign. And before the inauguration this morning. And apparently my presentation was really my phone bills to try and get him to pay me back for all the hours on the phone, but he was absolved by executive order apparently this morning. So honestly, it's my great pleasure to represent the men and women of the Department of Fire Services, to say thank you, Rick. And on a personal note, in my time in the Chiefs organization and as State Fire Marshal, Rick's been close counsel to me at many, many different times when I really benefited from his wisdom and his willingness to share his experiences and his knowledge, and to help me through some really tough times as well. And I can't say enough of his service, as you've heard and will continue to hear of, not only here in the town of Wellesley, but in a whole host of responsibilities, countless committees and organizations, a member of our Fire Training Council for a while, and again, a great counsel to me in my position. I can't say enough about this guy, and I just want to extend my congratulations and best wishes for a very long and healthy retirement. So thank you.
I would now like to invite Wellesley Police Chief Jack Pilecki to come up to say a few words.
Rick just said, be nice. I don't know why you said that. It's a recurring theme, Rick, about you going on and on. You know,
That's not true.
The last time we were at town meeting, when they had town meeting in person, Rick and I had to give presentations, and I was going first. And just before I went up, Rick said, hey, can you keep it really short, because I'm going to need more time. So I appreciate this opportunity to thank Chief DeLorie for everything he has done for the town and for me. When I became chief of the Wellesley Police Department about 6 years ago, Rick was one of the first people that reached out to me and offered any assistance he could give. He has always been that type of person, someone who reaches out and offers help. Chief DeLorie has been a valuable asset to this town in so many ways. Not only has he done a great job as a fire chief, he has always been a go-to person when the town needed help. During COVID, Rick was instrumental in acquiring all types of supplies for the town, including the police department. He would call me and say, hey, Jack, I got this lead on some face masks. Just don't tell Lenny Izzo, okay? Because I know he's looking for some too. He's the health director. We never lacked for face masks or sanitizer because Chief DeLorie was somehow able to obtain the necessary items at no cost to us. I didn't know where they were coming from. I didn't ask any questions. Rick organized many joint training sessions with the fire and the police departments, something very critical in our public safety profession. Whether it was ASHA training or some type of EMT training, Chief DeLorie made sure our departments could and would work together. Chief DeLorie has also been a dear friend to so many of us. His kindness and his compassion for others will be sincerely missed. His cheerful demeanor was always something you could count on. Now I could go on and on and on about all the things Chief DeLorie has done for us, but I'm sure he will cover everything when he gets this microphone. And in case you didn't know it, Rick is very thorough when it comes to explaining a topic. He does this with a sense of humor, though, unmatched by any person I know. And while he may go on and on, in the end, you realize that Chief DeLorie knows what he's talking about. Thank you very much.
I would now like to ask Shep Cohen, Chair of the Board of Health, to come up to the podium.
Gunner. Just to clarify Chief Pilecki's comment. So what happened was somebody at town meeting, right? Somebody at town meeting said, we've heard from every department in town, but we never hear from public safety. Let's have the police chief and fire chief do a presentation. Never, ever happened to Chief Rooney, Terry Cunningham. Nobody ever had to do that. So we get this email from the moderator that says, do it. Well, it said, I read quickly, 35 minutes. So I put on this, I said, wow, they must really want to know a lot. So I put on this massive presentation, and Jack says, do you mind if I go before you? And he was up there for 4 minutes, and I said, wow, 4 minutes, they said 35. And about 10 minutes in, the moderator says, Chief DeLorie, at any point, are you going to approach your budget? And I said, I'm about a third of the way through. And he goes, we said 3 to 5. I said, there was a hyphen in there? I put my hands up, and I was so serious. I said, I thought there was a hyphen. And then some kind member of town meeting said, let's let him go. And so that's a clarification. And, now Jeff Cohen.
Cut into my time.
You can have all the time.
You got
you
30
want.
seconds, Sean.
All right, you're done.
That's it. There's a common theme here. About over a week ago, slightly thank you, over a week ago, our wonderful select person, Beth, called me and said, would you say a few kind, nice words about Rick at this event today? I said, I'd be honored. Sat down to jot a few notes, couldn't think of one damn thing. So I called Rick, and I said, Rick, I have a problem. And as his usual response is, don't worry, I will help. I will solve the problem for you. 2 days later, comes to my house, and he drops this off. 6 double-sided notes that I'm supposed to read. I can't do it. I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes, so look at this. What is this? Nonsense. The hard truth is that I asked to make a few comments today. Because why? Because Rick has been a true friend of public health, of Wellesley Public Health. He has been a friend, he has been a supporter, he's been a true partner. He is the embodiment of the firefighters' motto, Semper Paratus, always ready. He was always ready to help us, always able, always willing and able to come forward. And let me just give a few examples. One of the examples, which was important, because if that red box over there, you guys stand away there, thank you. That's where folks, mostly diabetics and others, who want to dispose of shops, their needles, we had responsibility to provide that. We got nowhere until we called Rick, and he said, sure, as again, we can help. And he provided the site when no one else would. As mentioned several times, at the height of the beginning of the pandemic, when there was a supply chain problem, it was Rick who worked with our administrator, Deidre Dokugana, with the masks and the supply, getting them and distributing them. Another small thing, not so small, you'll see somewhere, maybe that's the one in the back of the room there, a refrigerator. Okay, what's the deal with the refrigerator? Well, when our refrigerator in our building, in the Warren building, goes off, which is frequent, usually as Anne Marie and Lenny tells me it's in the middle of the night, boom, they have to run over, Anne Marie goes over, gets the vaccine, brings them over here. CPR courses, critical for our medical reserve corps. And he and Leonard Izzo, our great public health director, chair the local emergency planning committee. And there's a lot more quietly behind the scenes that I'm not aware of. But we in Wellesley Public Health knew that we could always count on Rick to be there with us to protect and to promote the health of all Wellesley residents, employees, and visitors. Simply, thank you for a job well done. honorary member, not as fancy as the hat you usually wear, but an honorary member of the Board of Health. And, no, this is official Health Department suntan lotion when you retire. I can't bend down, I'm too old. Thank you.
Okay, next up, I would like to ask the superintendent of schools, David Lucier. He has asked if he could come up and say a few words.
Is this about my retake from Wellesley High School?
Good afternoon, everyone, and what a pleasure to be with you all to recognize my friend and colleague, Rick DeLorie. We've worked together for the past 11 years. One of the things that I noted wasn't mentioned in Rick's history is that he is a Wellesley High School graduate. Class of 1910, I think, was the year. And I say that because as the proud superintendent of schools here, anytime one of our grads is in a position to be in the public eye, we always hope they do us proud. And this was always a challenge because Rick was typically part of the firefighting team at the annual spelling bee for the Wellesley Education Foundation. Those were tough times for us. The team would rarely get past the first word. I would often have to tell the chief there's only one R in fire. And so I think he was hoping for some sort of spelling trophy today in retirement. Rick, you have to actually spell the word correctly before we're able to do that. So I'm not here to do that. But in all honesty, we couldn't be prouder of our graduate from the Wellesley Public Schools and Wellesley High School. As I look around the room and see so many staff members who are here, it may not be apparent to you out in the community how much we lean on each other behind the scenes through thick and thin. And I remember when we nearly lost the Honeywell building not long ago in a fire that destroyed several classrooms, and standing in inch-deep water with Rick that afternoon and getting an assessment of what happened and how we were going to move forward. Rick's humor is legendary, and I know for me he's always been a phone call away. Especially during tough times. I would call my friend, and I would, of course, allot quite a bit of time for that call. But Rick would always make me laugh, and I think we spent more time laughing than anything else. Just an extraordinary colleague who, as with many of my other colleagues here, always began a conversation with me. How can I help? How can I help our kids? How can I help our schools? What can we do? And that question over and over again has come from Rick and his entire team, and he really sets the tone for that. So I'm going to miss my friend and colleague. I do have a few gifts. Not a spelling trophy, Chief, sorry. What? So the first is just a certificate, which I'll read, of appreciation to Chief Rick DeLorie, the Wellesley Fire Department, with sincere appreciation for your friendship to all at Wellesley Public Schools and for successfully putting out a multitude of fires, both figuratively and literally. Signed, David Lucier, Superintendent of Schools, and we had to have a little bit of swag here for you, Chief, as well. Here, I'll let you open that. Here you go.
Don't you open up there?
Yeah. I don't believe there's a California fire tag on this, but just
Very nice.
we hope you wear that in retirement to remember your great friends with deep appreciation from the Wellesley Public
nice.
Schools. Thank you, Chief.
Next, Deputy Ken DeMerchant, who's Vice President of Local 1795, has asked if he could come up and just say a few words. Ken?
Is this a grievance?
It's not a grievance.
He's starting to sweat. too many stories to list. I've had the unique opportunity of working with Chief DeLorie my entire career. We worked together as firefighters, and then as he began to climb the ladder to the chief's job, we really didn't see much of each other, different shifts and whatnot. But I just want to say on behalf of all of us at Wellesley Fire, thank you for all you've done. Every opportunity that you've created for us has been outstanding, whether it be educational, training. It's stuff that we use every day. And although we may gripe sometimes about classes and stuff, it's definitely, when you sit down, when you sit down and think about it, how much he's done for us, it's really great, and most importantly, keeps us as safe and as healthy as we can, and making sure everybody goes home, uninjured was one of the chief's main priorities. As many people know in the room, the chief was always a big stickler for uniforms looking nice and stuff like that. So when he came through the door, he was assigned to Engine 2, I believe, working with my father. Yep. So back then, we just, guys came through the door with T-shirts or, I don't know, McDonald's uniforms, whatever they had on. So we would like to give you this shirt, and hopefully you'll wear it on the way out. I got the right one.
I almost just tripped. I would now like to invite past board member David Himmelberger to come up to the podium to say a few words.
Good afternoon. So I also grew up in the town like Rick, and I'm also a Wellesley High School graduate. Rick was a few years ahead of me. I was class of 1905. But we've heard many things today about Rick's professionalism and dedication to the fire department. And I'd like to just offer a few words with regard to another side of Rick, another side of the fire department here in Wellesley, and I suspect other places. The fire department doesn't just go to fires. They help out in the community. And this fire department, as long as I can recall, and certainly under Rick's leadership, has continued that tradition. They host a Thanksgiving meal for seniors. They have a breakfast for seniors. And they respond to any number of calls from seniors with regard to such things as the smoke detector is beeping, I can't reach the ceiling, I can't turn it off, can you help me? There's a light bulb I can't turn off or needs to be replaced. And we think of these things, and maybe they aren't quite as dramatic as, rushing to a fire, but they really go to solidify the community spirit that we enjoy here in this town. Rick also has provided leadership in scouting. I didn't reach the same rank as Rick, but I enjoyed my time there as well, and Rick was instrumental in helping out with the annual scouting breakfast for many years, including being honored one year for his service. So I just want to thank Rick for continuing the community service tradition portion of the Wellesley Fire Department, because I think in many respects it's every bit as important to the fabric of this town as is the first response that is also so required. So thank you, and best of luck to you, Rick.
I would now like to invite Rick's son, Alex, to come up to the podium and say a few words about his dad.
I'll try. If you ask a child what they want to be when they get older, one of the most popular answers will always be a firefighter. As the son of a firefighter, I was the kid who everyone swarmed to on Bring Your Parent to Class Day, and I was definitely the coolest kid in class on those days. I don't remember a time when you weren't front and center at every event we had growing up. Whether it was baseball, Boy Scouts, or a trip, you were there. You not only provided us with everything we needed, but also gave us the greatest gift of all, the gift of your time. I can't imagine working those long shifts was easy. Well, now I don't have to imagine. But finding the time to be involved in just about everything while also working long hours is something that I'll always forever looked up to you for. I sometimes wonder if you had an identical twin you've been splitting the work with. Growing up a firefighter's son, my family was bigger than most. Whenever we would show up at the station, it was always like visiting family, and it still is. They all had a positive influence on my life and have shown me what it means to be a firefighter. My father introduced me to many of the people I work with, and I've known most of them my entire life. It has been a great honor to be able to work with many of the people that I looked up to as a child. Dad, you have served the public boldly and empowered so many people along the way. You have stood up for people who wouldn't stand up for you simply because it was the right thing to do. You have attended every important event in Wellesley, such as the Senior Citizens Thanksgiving Dinner, July Jubilation, Veterans Day, and countless other ceremonies. Time and time again, you have proved your devotion as a firefighter and father, everything a child could ask for in a role model. I want you to know that it has been an honor to have you as my chief for the last 4 years. I did not end up a firefighter by chance. You paved the way and showed me how life was supposed to be lived. I hope I have made you proud. I know you love to travel, and I hope you get to go everywhere you have dreamed of now that you have the time. Your passion, service, and excellence that you have given this community is something that should be celebrated. Not everybody chooses to be a firefighter. Many of the people we see are experiencing the worst day of their life. Not everybody chooses to be a father. It isn't what it is in the movies and takes every bit of patience and love that you have. You chose to be both and went above and beyond of what was required of you. I think that speaks volumes about the man that you are, and I'm lucky to be your son. I grew up in a home full of love, hope, and encouragement, and as a result, am where I am today because of that. Thank you.
Okay, before handing over the mic to Rick, and we do want to be out of here before nightfall, I would like to take a few minutes to just share with you my thoughts of his career and many contributions to this department. Rick and I have known each other for 30 years. I was his captain when he came on the job, and by my missing his probationary period, he was able to move quickly through the ranks, becoming chief in 2009. Now, I know that we are all aware of the many achievements Rick has accomplished through the years: master's degree, Naval Institute, the Kennedy School, president of FCAM for 2 terms, and present chair of Metro Fire. While all of these accomplishments are hard-earned and extraordinarily well-deserved, I think that I was uniquely positioned to observe qualities that truly made Rick the successful and popular chief he has been these past 14 years. I think that all of the chiefs here today would agree that while dealing with fires or some other incident can be challenging, dealing with people can be the most challenging. I can't say how many times Rick would be on the phone or someone would be in the office. When the phone was hung up or that person left the office, I would get the nod and the motion to close the doors. I always knew that meant something or someone had created an issue. We would discuss what that issue was, and Rick always would research and find out exactly what had happened, never relying on just 1 or 2 opinions. He would then begin to formulate what the solution would be, and this is the most important fact. If it involved discipline, Rich would always look to treat that person with respect and fairness, making sure that that individual had the opportunity to redeem themselves and move on from that issue. Compassion, empathy, integrity, and honesty. Those are the qualities that I saw Rick display every day, And those qualities are what made him not a good chief, but an exceptional one, and whose shoes are going to be very, very hard to fill. Rick, it has been an honor and a privilege to have worked with you for all these years. I know that you have some wonderful and exciting opportunities ahead, but remember that you're leaving the old building and loan in better shape than when you got here. But more important to me is the honor and privilege of being able to call you my friend. Good luck.
Who's up next? Pete?
You?
Oh, boy. So I'm gonna read what I asked Shep to read. You're all here, and the kind words expressed are amazing and truly humbling to me. So now it's time for me to share a few thoughts of my appreciation about all of you. Often I can pick up a microphone and I can just speak off the top of my head at almost any event and just make stuff up and move along. Today I made notes because it's a highly emotional day for me to say farewell or see you soon, but it's a change. I'm here today because so many people, past and present, in the pictures on the side, supported me over my entire career, and it's been an amazing journey. Being a wise man and having had conversation with Governor Baker, who in one event did mention his wife, I told her, he said, you never forget to acknowledge your wife. And with that, my wife, Ellie, of 35 years, I could say this, every day that I wake up and she's still there and not some document from a lawyer, I'm so impressed. I just shake my head and I said, no, it's working. She has been my best friend for over 40 years. Always positive, always supportive. She's a cancer survivor. She never worried. I worried the entire time. She lived and shared the firefighting career with me. It impacts your entire family. If I had to leave, she made everything else work no matter what. She's a daughter of a fire officer, the niece of a fire chief, the sister-in-law of a fire officer, the aunt of a firefighter, and the mother of 2 firefighters. She knows the life of a firefighter. She always stays positive, she never worries, and she trusts through good training and we always will return. So with that, I would like to give my wife something. That may have bought me a few more years. I'm proud of my sons being firefighters. And Alex alluded to, you follow that, you see that. My daughter, she's never going to be a firefighter. I don't think she'll date a firefighter. It's a different language, but she's always supportive of us. She's an amazing person. And Maggie, she works in the world of architecture. She oversees contracts and campus master planning to new community development. She's an amazing person. Maggie's such a caring and solid professional. She doesn't miss any details. I couldn't be more proud of her. And she is my baby, so where are you, honey? I worried about overlooking some of you by naming some, but please understand, and you all know me, I could certainly name you all. And the lights would go out, everybody would be gone, and I'd still be here naming names. But if you know me, you understand that I care and appreciate about every single person around me. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I care. And I may tease everybody, and I spare nobody. I do that because I was given a gift of wit, and I think I'm funny, but not every principal agree with me, trust me. I tease people to spread happiness, and I always really do it to, when something's really down or bad, I help them to the best of my ability and give them 100%. But always in that blend of that conversation, I will break it up with humor. Because my mom used to say, medicine is the best, laughter is the best medicine. Also, it's important to recognize a few people. My brother Bill, lieutenant in the fire department, he was here before me, who I followed into the fire service. His encouragement was for me to keep reaching higher, go higher, at some higher rank, possibly when I became chief, or number 2 with Chief Rooney. I asked him, Bill, why do you pursue higher ranks? And he looked at me and said, who wants to deal with all those headaches? He said, I go on calls, I do good work, and then I go home, and I don't have any issues. He'd be crazy to go forward, but I'm glad you did. He was always supportive, and I'm proud to have worked with my brother at Wellesley Fire Department. Thank you, Bill. Now, the chief, and I'm sure every administrator would agree with me, you're only as good as your administrator. Your administrative staff, they make you shine. And I had the pleasure of working with Joan Miller, my administrative assistant, and a friend, and a conscientious person, and so detailed. And she survived 23 years with me every day. Just 5 days a week, sometimes more, because she did get those phone calls too, or texts, and she would be like, she answered it, you know, I mean, I can't help that. You could have just let it go to voicemail. But anybody that can go through that definitely deserves a medal. Joan? I'm going to miss our time together, Joan, but I will briefly call you. I know when payroll is, and I'll call you right in the middle of it just to brighten your day. Retired Assistant Chief Jeff Peterson. Jeff said it great. We worked together for 30 years in varying roles, and the change in positions made no difference in how we worked. I couldn't have asked for anyone better to have spent that time with and be by my side for the past 14 years as chief. We were a great team. We were a great team to work together. And for that, Jeff, thank you for everything and your support. Before that, Kevin Rooney had the pleasure of sharing, well, there's a door between the offices, and I swear Kevin was going to take the door out and build a wall. I don't talk a lot, so Kevin would just lean back in that chair, look at me, and he taught me so much about the fire service, about leadership, about the past, about the history of our department, about patience. And, you know, it's not a cruise ship. It's not a speedboat. It's more like a cruise ship. You got to make change slowly. Firefighters don't like change. And I appreciate Kevin for everything you did and being a good friend, a good mentor, and thank you for all you did for me. Then, the board, I wish the new interim chief, Brady, the best of luck. Absolutely, the water's fine, jump right in. It's not going to be a problem. But I am a call away, and Jeff and all the deputies will support you. Well, even, you could call Kevin and ask him about the history of something in this department, and he has an extraordinary memory and can tell you how he got there. This entire gathering also, I want to point out, was generously put on by the entire Board of Selectmen, put on by Chair Lisa Only and the rest of the board, and I so appreciate all you did Beth Sullivan, the coordination of the photos and the cake, and Jeff and Stephanie, and delivering the pictures and interviews and writing some of my press releases so people can understand what was being said. I just want to thank you all for putting together today for my special retirement. And it would also be appropriate to recognize someone that's significant in the fire department. And we always think it's just the firefighters and the medics, but really our EVT mechanic, Steve Audette, he cares about the equipment more than anybody. He keeps us rolling. He keeps our equipment in excellent condition so we can go out and do our job safely. Steve is a critical part of our operation. And I know, Steve, you will miss our brief conversations while you're trying to get stuff done out back when I wander around. And the sad part is he couldn't walk away. We would chat, and I will certainly give you a call if you're right in the middle of a project, and we'll chat some more. But I also would like to award him with a medal. Steve? So, I was fortunate to work with an all-star team of department heads and town committees and board members, both past and present. I'll pause. Is that so people can escape? That was like your chance to get out. So I was fortunate to work with an all-star team of past department heads and town committees, both past and present. When I say all-star team, they are the all-stars. You know, I don't want to go around the room and name everybody and inadvertently leave somebody out. But I love my time with you. And, you know, my time in the Chiefs Associations, both Metro and FCAM, were tremendous. And lastly, the best team of officers and firefighters I could have ever asked for. All work hard to excel in their profession. As I retire, knowing our team, our town, is in solid leadership, and we have that leadership that already exists within our department by excellent firefighters. Today is the 30th day, to the day, that I began my first shift at the greatest job in the world, being a firefighter. I was honored to have worked with an amazing number of talented people over my career, and I love that experience in every position that I had throughout the department. And it wouldn't be a Rick DeLorie conversation without a story. So, I was driving down the Cape on a Friday and I timed it poorly. I ended up in a ton of traffic, and it was going to take me 2 or 3 hours to get there. So I made a couple calls, and Fire Marshal Peter Ostrowski answered his phone. And he goes, "Hey, Chief, what's up?" And I said, "Nothing. What are you doing?" He goes, "Headed out to dinner." I said, "Oh, where you going?" Just, you know, name someplace, I don't know where it was. And then he says to me, "So, Rick, what's up?" I said, "Nothing, Peter. I'm stuck in Cape traffic for 2 or 3 hours, and I figured I'd call you and kill some time." He goes, "What? Is there a problem?" I said, "No, I don't have any problem." He goes, "We're going out to dinner." I said, "Put me on speakerphone and take me with you. I'll just sit there." And he goes, No shit. Don't do that. No." And then I go, "Am I on speakerphone?" And he is, and I am. And so his wife's laugh, and she goes, he goes, "Don't laugh. It just encourages it. Don't." So he goes, "What possessed you to call me?" I said, "Well, I called 5 other people first, but I got voicemail. You were the first one to answer, Peter, so we got time." And he goes, "I'm hanging up." I go, "What if it's emergency? I really need you." He goes, "I'm hanging up." So Peter, as he said, was a great friend, and you know, I know that I'll be remembered for my brevity and getting right to the point. But I'm retiring as a chief of Wellesley Fire Department after serving 14 years. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have served in my hometown. Couldn't have been better. A heartfelt thank you to all the great people that I've met along the way and for sharing time, knowledge, and friendship with me. The firefighters are the best people in the world. And that takes nothing away from our great friends in the police department, public health, or any other profession. But it was the one that I was in, and it was an honor and a privilege to serve with them. Thanks for all the great memories as the chief of the Wellesley Fire Department. I am grateful for the opportunity, and I thank all the great people that I met along the way. Thank you all for coming today. It was truly an honor, and I'm humbled by it, and I'll remember and cherish this day forever. It's this place is blank. I was gonna make something up. Who was that guy? I remember when he worked here. In that same, I'll just say, with that said, I'm going to take some time off and then start a new adventure with a different organization, not in the fire service, but still in public safety. And I just want to thank you all for your friendship, support. I love and treasure all our times forever, always will. God bless this fire department and all of you. Thank you for coming today. Thank you. Thank you.
Folks, there's cake. Can you turn this off on me? Folks, there's cake over here too, so please have some.